I call this story The Coyote Under the Table, but actually it's about an old dog. An old dog who had served his owners very well. He kept wild animals away from the chicken coop. He kept thieves away from the house. He guarded their farm very well. But now this dog was so old, all he could do was lie in the sun and sleep all day long. Well, his owners were very poor, and now they had a new baby, which would add to their expenses. So one morning when the husband and wife were leaving to go off and work in the fields, the woman said to her husband, "Why do we keep this old dog? He doesn't do any work anymore." And the man said, "You're right. We can't afford to keep a dog that doesn't work. When Sunday comes around, I'll take him to the mountains and I'll get rid of him." Well, the old dog heard what they were saying, and he staggered up to his feet and he walked off into the trees, crying to himself. He hadn't gone very far when a friendly voice called out to him, "Oye, perro, ¿por qué andas tan triste?" "Hey, dog," the voice said, "why are you so sad?" The old dog looked around and he saw his old enemy, the coyote. They had had many battles down through the years, with the coyote trying to steal chickens, and the old dog determined he wouldn't let him do it. But now, when the coyote spoke to him with a friendly voice, the old dog just broke down. "Oh, me van a matar. Me van a echar un balazo en la pura cabeza." He said, "They're going to shoot me. They're going to kill me." And the coyote said, "What? Why would they do that to you?" The dog told him, "They say I'm too old. They say I don't work anymore." The coyote said, "Well, I have noticed that you don't guard the chickens very well anymore. That's why I don't steal chickens from your farm. It's no fun if nobody chases me. But we can't let them do that to you. Let me think of a plan." The coyote thought for a minute and came up with a good plan, and he told it to the old dog. The old dog went walking down to the field where the husband and wife were working, and their baby was sleeping under a bush at the edge of the field. The dog lay down close to the sleeping baby, and then suddenly the coyote came running out of the trees. He picked up the baby by its blanket with his teeth and ran off into the trees. The woman screamed and fainted. The old man gave a shout and came running in that direction. But the dog struggled to his feet and ran behind the coyote, snapping and growling. And as soon as he got into the trees, he found the baby lying there on the ground. The coyote had left it there for him, just as he said he would. The old dog picked up the baby by its blanket and carried it back to its parents. When the woman came to her senses and learned what had happened, she said to her husband, "Oh, this good dog saved our baby's life. How could we think of destroying it just because he eats a few scraps of food?" The man said, "You're right. From now on, this good dog can sit at the table and eat with us like a member of the family." And from that day on, whenever they sat at the table, they set a separate place for the dog, and he sat there and ate like a person. When the neighbors saw that, they shook their heads. They would say to the man, "How can you let a dog eat at your table?" He would say, "Don't you say a word. This dog saved our baby's life. As long as he lives, he can eat at the table like a member of the family." Of course, the old dog was enjoying his new life, and he kept thinking about how he could pay the coyote back for the big favor he had done. When the day came to baptize the baby, he saw his opportunity. When everyone was away at the church, the old dog went off into the trees and found the coyote. He brought him back to the house and told him to hide under the table. Everyone arrived from the baptism, and they all sat down for a good meal. The dog took his place at the table, and every time some good food came his way, he would poke it under the table for the coyote. He gave him a big leg of lamb. He gave him a whole stack of fresh tortillas, and then he poked a bottle of wine under the table. The coyote pulled out the stopper and he drained that bottle of wine. He said, "Ahora quiero cantar." "I want to sing," he said. The old dog said, "No, no." He grabbed another bottle of wine and stuck it under the table. And the coyote drained that bottle. "Ah, qué caray, ahora sí voy a cantar. I'm really gonna sing," he said. He threw his head back and let out a long, wavering song. "Oh!" Everyone jumped up from the table and ran out of the house. The old dog went diving under the table, snapping and snarling. The coyote ran out of the house with the dog behind him. The coyote kept looking over his shoulder, laughing. And then when the old dog came back again, everyone gathered around to hug him. They all said, "That wild coyote, he wasn't satisfied with carrying off the baby. He came back to attack all of us. And this good dog has saved us all." From that day on, wherever he went in the village, people would invite the dog inside and let him sit at the table and eat with the family. So that old dog lived out the rest of his days as happy as any dog in this world.